It doesn't matter the situation. When people ask what I do, I tell them I'm a vocal coach. But then, without fail, the mood shifts and it gets really quiet. Then they'll whisper, "Can I ask you a question? Can you teach anyone to sing, even if they don't have any talent?" Let's go! Last Christmas, I went to Florida to visit my family. On one of our last days together, my dad and I decided to go and have lunch at Clearwater Beach. Now, my dad is the kind of guy that can have a conversation with anybody. So naturally, he starts talking to this older couple next to us. And sure enough, the conversation gets around to what I do. So I tell them I'm a vocal coach. And that's when the conversation gets really quiet and serious. And the guy leans in and says, "Can I ask you a question?" I already know what he's gonna ask. He's gonna ask me if I can teach anyone to sing, even if they have zero vocal talent. And I can tell that he's asking because he has the secret desire himself to learn how to sing, but he's never tried. This question drives me crazy. It's not because they're bothering me or anything, but this question suggests that singing is this special thing that only a few people can learn how to do. And anyone that can sing must be naturally talented. But even though singing can be magical, there's really no magic to learning how to sing better. Anyone can learn to sing using the right techniques and the right practice. So why do we have no problem believing that someone can pick up the guitar, for instance, at any age and learn how to play guitar, but with singing, there's no way? Well, I take exception to that because just like learning how to play guitar, there are certain steps that you need to follow in order to learn how to sing better. So I tell this to the guy at the bar, but I can tell that he doesn't believe me. But I can promise you this, after teaching over 1,000 students, anyone can learn how to sing. You just have to want it. But I can tell that he thinks that there's something I'm holding back, like some secret, special thing or gene that he wasn't born with. So in order to convince him, I ask him, "Hey, like when you first picked up the guitar, could you play Stairway to Heaven?" He says no. I said, "Right, yeah, like you probably started off playing just individual notes on the guitar before you could play an entire song, right?" Well, the same is true for singing. Just like learning how to play guitar, you have to learn how to sing in steps. There's even a similar pattern between playing guitar and singing. When you first start playing guitar, you learn that you have to put your fingers on specific frets in order to make certain notes. And yeah, while in singing, you can't see the fretboard. Well, the actual vocal cords need to stretch or slacken to the perfect amount in order to get the right pitch. That's why you start off by practicing single notes in singing. In guitar, the next thing that you need is a pick or using your finger to actually strike the notes that you're trying to play, right? Well, the same thing is true in singing, but rather than using a pick or your finger, instead, you have to figure out how to get the vocal cords to vibrate together. The stronger the vibration, the stronger the sound. A great example of an exercise to help you do that would be a 5-tone BRATTY na, like nasty. Na 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 na. That buzzy sound from the na 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 is so good at helping the vocal cords close a bit more, and that's basically the same thing as strumming or picking the notes on the guitar. But even though it's a really ugly sound, it helps people to get the right technique. Then once you've learned how to pick the notes on the guitar, the next step is probably moving up the neck and hitting higher notes, right? Well, the way that you do that on a guitar is by switching to a lighter string with a lighter gauge. That lighter gauge actually vibrates faster, creating a higher pitch or a higher frequency. And that higher frequency gives you a high note. Wouldn't you know it, the exact same thing is true when it comes to singing. But rather than changing strings, you actually change to different vocal registers. The two main registers in the voice are called the chest voice in the bottom part of the voice, ah, and the head voice in the top part of the voice. Now, when you're first getting started off playing guitar, whenever you change strings, there's almost always going to be kind of like a break or like a pick scrape or something like that. Bottom line, those notes don't sound very even just yet. It's actually really common for some notes to be too loud and others to be too soft. And the exact same thing is true of singing as well. When you're first starting off, you have to learn how to blend your different vocal registers together to create an even sound from bottom to top. We call this blend singing in your mixed voice because it's basically a blend or a mix between the chest voice register and the head voice register. And if you don't do that, you're going to have a big break in between your chest voice and your head voice, which will probably sound like a yodel. This yodel sound is created by switching too quickly to those thinner chords, or kind of like with the guitar, to thinner strings. A great exercise to help you improve that break is that octave repeat bratty nay, where you're walking up, repeating, and coming down on nay, like neighbor. Nay, 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 nay. That bratty sound is really, really good at helping the vocal cords to continue vibrating, but at the same time, it stretches them, which helps you hit higher notes. The guy at the bar is like following me now. He's nodding, he's getting into it. I'm starting to maybe change his mind a little bit. I might even be able to convince him that he can learn how to sing, and then it's not just some big magic trick. Because the truth is, once you have those basic skills mastered on the guitar, then you can start looking at some of the crazier guitar effects. Vibrato, tremolo, distortion, whammy. But I see so many singers that are going for these crazy vocal effects like, subharmonics and whistle register and vocal fry, but they don't actually have the foundation built first. Finally, the guy at the bar says, okay, all right, maybe singing is something that you can learn. But I give him a quick warning and say, hey, look, just because you learned how to sing on pitch doesn't mean that you're going on tour anytime soon. It takes years of dedicated practice and the right techniques to become a singer worth listening to. It'll be a lot of fun along the way, and you'll probably learn a lot more about yourself than you ever thought that you would, but it's something that you learn over time. And thinking that you have to be born with a special talent or the special genetics or something like that is really just an excuse for not having to do the hard work. The only difference between learning how to sing and another conventional instrument like guitar or piano is that basically with singing, you can't see it, you can't touch it, and it sounds different to you than to everyone else. But that doesn't mean that there aren't any proven techniques to help you get there. To really learn how to improve your vocal control step by step, I broke it down into this video for you.